You know, I am actually surprised by a few things. For one, I was kind of curious when we were going to get this reveal about Sabato, because I like playing him in Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. Like, he's fun to play as. But the more important part is I am genuinely surprised they showed this scene again with Yujiro falling down the stairs, because that's always funny. Especially the panel makes it even funnier because, I mean, the dude is just losing his fucking mind, like usual, and falling down some stairs. But, alright, let's go over, more importantly, the important stuff. First thing to tackle is, yes, we get a little bit of Yorichi shown, which is a nice treat, showing Lady Tamayo's connection to the first Demon Slayer breathing user. That's one. Number two, Tanjiro sent on a quest by the master to go and speak with Giyu and convince him to join back with the Corps, because Giyu has excluded himself, essentially saying he's not worth being a Demon Slayer. Now, you gotta love Tanjiro's persistentness, because he kept bugging Giyu so much until Giyu gave in and said what was the problem. Which goes to 3, Giyu's backstory about guilt. Yes, the dude who has been the most quiet and very distant character has a lot of guilt. We see his origins with Sabato. The two were friends, and they were in the same final selection together. As well as this other character that I kind of forgot his name, but, I mean, it's fun seeing him, even if it's for a brief moment. But, back to it, Sabato was shown to be a great water-breathing user. Someone who showed so much high potential that, yes, had he survived, he would have most definitely had been the Water Hashira. And, I mean, considering that he was already that talented to be a Water Hashira, and Giyu worked his ass off to make sure to even reach it, shows more on Giyu's part that he worked really hard. Because the part of Giyu's guilt comes in 2 different phases. The first one coming when his sister died by a demon, protecting him. And the second phase being when Sabato he was literally the best out of that final selection. And unfortunately, he was killed by the hand demon. And Giyu, he was knocked out by the first demon he encountered. Which kind of gives off that, yeah, he was not prepared to be a demon slayer. Even at the lowest levels, he was not ready. And yet Sabato, who, the only reason he even died against the hand demon was because his sword broke, which obviously didn't allow him to do anything more. But it shows the vast difference in their strength, as well as Sabato was Giyu's closest friend. And this was shown a lot more when Giyu was reminded of something Sabato did, which was slap him for basically saying that he should have been the one to die. So, survivor's guilt, more or less, which Giyu, upon hearing that Sabato died, and he survived, but he didn't even kill a single demon, makes him think very inferior about himself compared to the other demon slayers. Which is an interesting thing, because it brings the point that, I mean, yeah, he accomplished the task of he survived for 7 days. However, he didn't even do anything to contribute to facing off any of the demons, so does that even count as passing? So, yeah, he worked his butt off, he became a Hashira and all this, but that guilt still lingers in him. It's something that Tanjiro also has, although not to an extreme length, since we get a callback to Rengoku. Like, Tanjiro empathizes with this issue that Giyu has, because Rengoku's death was something Tanjiro feels in him, because he feels like he should have been one to perish so Rengoku could have lived, because he was way more skilled and would have probably have been a much better asset to the Demon Slayer Corps than him, according to obviously what Tanjiro thinks. Granted, though, Inosuke was able to knock some sense into Tanjiro and saying like, hey, Rengoku gave his life for us and believes in us, so now we gotta allow ourselves to reach that point where he believed us to be. So yeah, he was able to break out of despair, while Giyu unfortunately had no one to help him break out of that. Now granted, he did work his butt off, but I mean, that guilt still lingers. So seeing it eventually kind of come into a consensus that he was reminded of Sabato's like promise that if he continues doing like that, they're no longer friends, it helped them out pushing that, and then Tanjiro, funnily enough, basically saying that let's have a soba noodle speed eating contest was funny, was genuinely funny. It shows that Tanjiro is trying to cheer Giyu up. Like, the two are pretty much close, like brothers in a sense. And then we have Shinobu, who tries to keep herself emotionally check, trying to make sure she doesn't become immature in terms of having her emotions break out, because I mean there's a bunch of anger in her, which unironically she just ends up getting mad at herself anyway. But you do have a talk with Kanao and her. Like, Kanao has shown a lot of progress, and that's a lot thanks to Tanjiro's influence. But what's more is that Shinobu tells Kanao that she's going to explain to her about the demon that killed her sister, as well as like all the information she has on this demon. Which, I mean, for those who've read the manga or have an idea who it is, I mean, we know who it is. But I will say this. What Shinobu's planning is quite the plan. I will only say that. Other than that, the episode, pretty good. Pretty good.